Hey, this is Chris and Lamb of God. You're watching Rock and Metal News.
Hey guys, this is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News, and this is the Rock and Metal News Top 40 Albums for 2018. This is just our perspective of the best albums that came across us in 2018, and you can let us know what you think of the list and some of the albums that we have on here that you haven't checked out. Maybe you can check some of those out, and you can give us a note in the comments of some of the ones that you felt were just amazing and that didn't make our list. So we're going to start. I'm going to talk more in depth in the top 10 albums, but we're going to start here at number 40, which is the band Seventh Wonder, and the album is called Tiara, and this album features Camelot vocalist Tommy Karavik, and he is such a great vocalist, and I thought they put out such an amazing album. Number 39 was Legend of the Seagull Men, self-titled album Legend of the Seagull Men, and this band includes Mastodon Brent Hines on guitar and Tool's Danny Carey on drums. I just thought they put out a really cool, solid album, and it was very interesting kind of concept to it and some interesting songs. Number 38 was Between the Buried and Me, Automata 2. I liked both of the albums, but I just thought Automata 2 was a little bit better than Automata 1, so that was number 38. Number 37 was Tesseract Sonder. I thought it was a great album, not as good as their last one, but still good enough to make our top 40. And I just love the moods that Tesseract put you through, and just the amazing song structures that they have. Number 36 is Bleeding Gods. The album is called Dodecathlon, and this album would not go away for me this year. It was put out in the beginning of 2018, and it's just a super solid album, and I just kept listening to it through the year, and it just had that really good feel to it, and a great album. Number 35 was Breaking Benjamin Ember. I didn't think it was as good as their last album, but still made our top 40. I just love the vocals and the songwriting in Breaking Benjamin. Number 34 was Primal Fear, Apocalypse. Great melodies in this and a really solid album. Number 33 was Tremonti, A Dying Machine. Man, can this guy ever write songs, and what a great vocalist. So a great album there. Number 32 was Artillery, The Face of Fear. Excellent album, great thrash album. If you haven't checked out Artillery, check it out. Number 31 was Black Label Society, Grimmest Hits, featuring Zakk Wylde, of course. And man, he wrote an album that just reminded me of Black Sabbath. This had Sabbath riffs all over it, so really dug a lot of his riffs on this. A real cool Sabbath mood to this album. Number 30 was Witherfall, one of my kind of surprises this year. A Prelude to Sorrow. Just loved it. I thought they really had some cool songs and really interesting song structures in it. Number 29 was The Crown, Cobra Speed Venom. Super heavy album. They had one of my favorite songs of the year, Avenged, on it, and just loved the album. Number 28 was Accuser, The Mastery. Great thrash band from Germany. If you like thrash, check that out. Number 27 was Jonathan Davis, vocalist for Korn, Black Labyrinth. He had an interesting style on this album. Wasn't as heavy as Korn's album. He had Ray drumming from Korn on the album as well. Saw it live, and he played the whole album live, and I just really liked some of the interesting songs and some of the moods that he had on that. Number 26 was Angra Omni. This is the former band of now Megadeth guitarist Kiko Loureiro. They just have some really wicked prog stuff. They're from South America, so check out that. Number 25 was Behemoth, I Loved You at Your Darkest. Behemoth always put out solid albums now, and I thought Nurgle put another great album out. Number 24 was Christian, Scourge of the Enthroned. Super heavy, super great album, and I just love all their songs. I thought it was really solid. Number 23 was Visigoth, Conqueror's Oath. I love their just the melodies that they put on this, and it's just a great album. Number 22 was Rivers of Nile, Where Owls Know My Name. Man, these guys are kind of moving into a more proggy feel, and this album was so solid. Some people have this probably in their top 10, but just love the Rivers of Nile album. It's just super interesting to listen to, and they have so many different elements in it. Number 21 was Mob Rules, Beast Reborn. Number 20 was Sleeping Giant, I Am, and I believe this is their final album, and they went out with a bang, just a really great album. Number 19 was Redemption, Long Night's Journey into Day. Man, they put out a super cool album. There's just some great songwriting on that, and just a really solid album. Number 18 was Under Oath, Erase Me. I thought it was a great album. There's some super solid songs on that, and some great vocals and great musicianship. Number 17 was Riot V or Riot 5, Armor of Light. Man, can these guys play. This has just got musicianship all over it, and they are just masters at their instruments. What a cool album to listen to, so check that one out. Number 16 was Dimmu Borgir, Ionian Symphony, symphonic black metal. They've kind of really moved into that symphonic style of black metal, and they put out a really cool album, and it's just super dark and moody. Number 15 was Dee Snider, For the Love of Metal. Yes, the former Twisted Sister vocalist Dee Snider was back, masterminded by Hatebreed's Jamie Jasta, and he just wrote a great album for Dee to be on, and super cool songs, and Dee is just, I think he put out his heaviest and best album yet. Number 14 was Amorphous, Queen of Time. Amorphous, they're always great. I just love this band. They always put something out every year in the top 20. You can check out that. You're guaranteed a good listen. Number 13 was Soulfly, Ritual. I loved it. I think Max went back to his real old school style of heavy thrash. Lots of good, cool drumming on this, and just a really nice heavy sound. Had some great guests on the album, and I loved the new Soulfly. Number 12 was Ihsahn Amr, and he again puts out super cool stuff, and just super solid, and a great album from Ihsahn. And number 11 was Camelot, The Shadow Theory. This has, again, Tommy Karavik on vocals, who sings on Seventh Wonder as well. One of the only vocalists kind of to head a band up that's on 2 of the top 40. But Camelot, man, what a great band that is. And the album is The Shadow Theory. Check that one out. Now, getting into the top 10. Number 10 was Metal Allegiance, Volume 2, Power Drunk Majesty. This band is kind of like a supergroup. It features Mark Mengi, Alex Skolnick from Testament, David Ellefson from Megadeth, and Mike Portnoy on drums from former Dream Theater. It had super great guests on it. They had Trevor Sternad from Black Dahlia Murder, John Bush from Armored Saint, Bobby Blitz from Overkill, Johan Haig from On Monomarth, Max Cavalera from Soulfly, Troy Sanders from Mastodon, Mark from Death Angel, Floor Jansen from Nightwish, and they all put a song out, and the songs are great, man. When you get all those musicians putting out heavy thrash songs with all those guests, how can you go wrong? So that was number 10. Number 9 was Machine Head Catharsis. A lot of people really dissed this album, and they thought it did move away from the traditional Machine Head, but I thought there was so many great songs on this. I just thought Volatile was amazing. Catharsis was amazing. Beyond the Pale, California Bleeding, Triple Beam, Kaleidoscope, Bastards, Screaming at the Sun. They're just all great songs, even though they kind of pushed away. Rob Flynn really took over as the master of this album, and maybe the other guys took a backseat a bit, but I'll tell you, there's some great songs on it, I think. So that was number 9 for me. Number 8 was a surprise. Michael Romeo, War of the Worlds Part 1. He is the guitarist from Symphony X. If you love Symphony X, you're going to love this album, and it has tons of great songs on it. The vocalist he's chosen is so great as well, and it's super proggy. There's songs Fear the Unknown, Black, Digen, Believe, and Differences, all amazing songs. Number 7, a little bit of a surprise as well, was Powerwolf, Sacrament of Sin. This has so many cool, this album will stick in your head, guaranteed, with songs like Fire and Forgive, Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend, Killers with the Cross, Incense and Iron, Where the Wolves Have Gone, The Sacrament of Sin, all great songs. I think Powerwolf put out their best album. That was number 7. Number 6 was Parkway Drive, Reverence. I love this album. Again, some people thought it wasn't as super heavy, but I thought it was a really great album, super solid all the way through. One of my favorite songs of the year was Wishing Wells. They have the song Pray on there, Absolute Power, Cemetery, Bloom, The Void, Shadowboxing, all amazing songs. Then we're going to number 5, which was Scars on Broadway, Dictator, featuring System of a Down guitarist Daron Malakian. He put out if you're dying for System of a Down, pick this album up. He wrote these songs pretty much for the new System of a Down album. Looks like Serge and maybe some of the other guys didn't really like the feel of the songs for a System album, but he put them out, and I think some of them are just great. Lives, Dictator, Guns Are Loaded, Never Forget, Sickening Wars, all amazing songs for Scars on Broadway of number 5. Number 4, which came out at the beginning of the year, which I was just thrilled to hear, man, was Cane Hill, Too Far Gone. Wow, did they ever put out their best album? Hands down, they had a huge year. Songs like Too Far Gone, Lord of the Flies, Erased, Why, It Follows, Scumbag, and one of my faves of the whole year was 10 Cent. Just love that track. Now we're getting into number 3. Number 3 was A Perfect Circle, Eat the Elephant, Tools, Maynard, James Keenan, of course, on this album. I loved it. I think his songwriting and the mood on this, the lyrics were just so great. The song qualities, when they're just amazing songs, they just shone on this. The songs Disillusioned, The Doomed, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and Talk Talk, surrounded with other great mood-altering songs. Just loved it. I thought it was great. Number 2 was Ghost, Prequelle. I love Ghost. Some people thought it maybe wasn't as heavy as they wanted for Ghost, but I loved it. I thought it had, I thought it could have been a bit heavier as well, but I just thought the song qualities and just the way he writes songs and the way he writes melodies and the mood of Ghost albums are just so cool, with songs like Rats, Faith, which I just love that track, See the Light, Dance, Macabre, all amazing songs. Now, number 1 for 2018 for us was the almighty Judas Priest, Firepower. This was such a solid album. It is number 1 because of Judas Priest continuing to put out great heavy stuff. These guys could wimp out. They could, they could put out something that's not as heavy. They can do, there's many things that they could do that wouldn't keep them on top, but they're doing the stuff that keeps them on top. They put out songs like Firepower, Lightning Strike, Children of the Sun, Rise from the Ruins, Flamethrower, Traitors Gate. Man, just this whole album is just perfect, and it's heavy and great for Judas Priest. They're going to they went out on top in 2018. They will, I'm sure, make another album. So this is our Rock and Metal News top 40 albums for 2018. Let us know what you think, and let us know some of the albums. Of course, there's just so many. We had a list of over 350 albums, and we listened to tons and tons of music all through the year, and we keep track of all the good stuff that stands out, and these stood out to us. So let us know, of course, what you guys think, because there's, I'm sure, a ton that are not on the list that you guys just love. But that's our list, and this is Ron from Rock and Metal News. Thanks for tuning in.